Live from Hancock Stadium at Illinois State University, it's the battle for the IHSA 4A State Football Championship. And we've got a pair of undefeated teams as the Purple Raiders of Bloomington take on the Celtics of Providence Catholic. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom Stalker alongside Bill Gorley. You know, for years, the Purple Raiders of Bloomington would sit in the stands and watch the action here at Hancock Stadium. But for the first time ever, they're part of the state final game. For them, it's one step further. They made it all the way to the semifinals last year before losing to a great Mount Carmel team. They're an explosive team offensively.
Well, they lost 15-12 last year, and they feel they have a better football team. And, of course, the person that highlights that offense is Jermaine Ware, 6'1", 188-pound senior. His brother played for Michigan, a defensive halfback, great athlete, two-way player, and he's got over 1,400 yards rushing. So he's the man that they want to go to in the option.
And as part of a great 1-2 punch offensively for Bloomington, their quarterback, Billy Dicken, he's thrown for 1,300 yards.
Well, what a great athlete Billy Dicken is. 6'2", 181 pounds, a junior. 6 letters. He's lettered every year in football, basketball, and baseball since he's been a freshman. Great thrower. Great field goal kicker. And the game, if it comes down to be a close one, could be decided on Billy Dicken's toe instead of his arm.
But in a late development offensively for Bloomington, James Martin, their 300-plus pound offensive tackle, will not start for disciplinary reasons. Now, how long he doesn't play is anybody's guess. We haven't been told that. Brad Hunt, who was a backup tackle and was the final piece of the puzzle for their offensive line when he moved into center, will go back to tackle. So they're juggling things around in the line like they did all season long. But again, that's going to be a bit of a disruption for any team.
Well, and of course, it could possibly be for the option offense, but that's something we'll have to see, Tom.
Defensively, Bloomington has been a very tough team. They have shut out 7 opponents this year. They allowed their opponents only 28 points on the regular season.
And it's highlighted by a nose guard, number 6, which is unusual for a defensive lineman number. Carlos Prophet, 6 foot, 229, and he's the main concern of Coach Sefner as far as how they can run their offense.
Meanwhile, Providence last year had a tough schedule. They went 5-4 with a schedule featuring 7 playoff opponents. This year, the schedule was eased up a bit. Of course, obviously, they're undefeated, but they didn't get a lot of respect in the Chicago area. They played some independents from over in Indiana. That may be part of it.
Well, and of course, the big thing was last year, for the first time since 1975, Providence was not in the playoffs. They went 5-4, and as you mentioned, played 7 playoff teams, but they're much better. They're a veteran group, and they've got 8 defensive players back.
Chris Orr is their quarterback. He's passed for over 1,700 yards this year.
Well, and he's the man they have to go to as far as Coach Sefner is concerned. He's the one that makes their offense go, and he's the one that they look for big plays.
But they're a defensive-oriented team, Coach Sefner always says.
Yeah.
He passes for 1,700 yards.
Well, that's what I talked to him about. He said they're only averaging 40 points offensively, and he feels they're more explosive than the 1987 champions. So he still feels that the defense is where they have to go, but defensively, they've got a number of players. A linebacker, Tom Manzello, a two-sport athlete. He leads the team in tackles. He's the man they want to go to make the defense go.
And they have shut out 6 opponents on their own this year. In a game like, in fact, you take a look at this game, it's almost a carbon copy, 2 classes higher of the 2A game we had earlier this afternoon. 2 unbeatens, 2 teams with very stingy defenses.
Well, I hope it's every bit as good, because that was a great game, and I'm looking forward to a real good one this time, too.
So Bloomington, who is ironically wearing the visitor uniforms because of the bracketing. They're wearing white here in their hometown, taking on the Providence Catholic Celtics, who come into this ball game having won a state championship. And even though that was maybe, as they say, ancient history, the Coach Sefner, he was there. He knows how to bring his team down here for that.
Well, and I think the other thing that's interesting on the other side of the coin is Bloomington. Bloomington's coach, Terry McCombs, was here in 1977 when Leiden won the championship. He was an assistant coach. He brings the same offense, the same defense here for Bloomington for the championship of the 4A game.
And plus, their kids sleep in their own beds last night. They don't go to a motel. It's like another game.
That's I think, a distinct advantage as far as Bloomington is concerned.
Joining us on the sidelines is Joe Passion, and he'll fill us in as to the locations of these 2 schools. Although, Joe, I think I have an idea where one of them is.
Yes, as a matter of fact, you don't have to look too far to find out where Central Illinois is. And, of course, right here, Bloomington, Illinois, right down the road. They are the visiting teams officially, but, of course, you're going to hear it. They are indeed the home team in spirit, and the crowd will be behind them. They're out of the Big 12 West, undefeated, as you stated, here in McLean County in Central Illinois. And their road back to normal started off with a victory over Urbana in a snowstorm to open up the playoffs, with then followed by victories over Mattoon, Limestone, and then that semifinal win over a tough downstate Harrisburg team for Coach Terry McCombs. As for the Celtics of Providence Catholic, they're out of Will County in New Lenox, which is in the southwest suburbs just outside of Joliet, and they're an independent for Coach Matt Sefner, also unbeaten. Coach Sefner in his 25th year. He's back again here to the championship game for the Celtics. Their road started with a win at Rich Central in Olympia Fields. Then they knocked off unbeaten Bremen, then defeated Woodstock, and then knocked off another unbeaten team in Oswego in the semifinal game. So it has been a great road for both these teams, who many expected to be here. And as we have seen in previous championship games here today, unbeaten records are on the line for the #1 ranking in their classification here in the state of Illinois. Now, weather-wise, we're looking at, again, strong winds coming out of the south, but the temperatures are rather mild at about 55 degrees. In the meantime, we'll get a chance to meet the players, so let's turn it over to our public address announcer, Steve Adams, and of course our announcers up in the booth, Tom and Bill.
Into this title game. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing tonight's starting lineups. First, for Providence Catholic High School of New Lenox, here is the head coach, Matt Sefner. Assistant coaches, George Chart, Mark Coglanis, Mike Napoleon, and Jim Kickles. And now, let's meet the starting defensive lineup. At outside linebacker, number 44, Jim Edson. At tackle, number 61, Frank Lackney. At tackle, number 34, Ed Moss. At nose tackle, number 71, Doug Reiser. At linebacker, number 42, Tom Manzella. At linebacker, number 55, Craig McPartland. At outside linebacker, number 1, John Fitzgibbon. At cornerback, number 20, Jeff Schley. At cornerback, number 22, Greg Keir. At strong safety, number 24, Dave Kariotis. And at free safety, number 33, Jeff Young. Those are the Celtics of Providence Catholic High School of New Lenox. And now, introducing the starting offensive lineup for the Purple Raiders of Bloomington High School. Here is the head coach, Terry McCombs. Assistant coaches, Rigo Schmelzer, Rich Kruger, Ted Schmitz, Ed Roseborough, Donnie Anderson, Larry Sears, and Otis Kindle. And now, here is the starting offensive lineup. At left end, number 8, Chip Mosley. At left tackle, number 74, Brad Hunt. At left guard, number 65, Ryan Chow. At center, number 51, Aaron Chow. At right guard, number 52, Mark Irby. At right tackle, number 78, Dane Griffin. At right end, number 86, Brian Engle. At quarterback, number 7, Billy Dicken. At halfback, number 9, Jermaine Ware. At flankerback, number 5, Marcus Mosley. And at fullback, number 44, Jason Scott. Those are the Purple Raiders of Bloomington High School.
So we're set for the battle for the 4A title, and our officials, referee Jack Lyons with Carl Seberg, the umpire, Frank Mascaroni, the linesman, George Adaka, the field judge, and Dave McIntyre is the back judge. And as we heard the introductions up here in the booth, the wind just whistling out of the south, and you tend to think It'll be obviously for both teams out there. They're both playing the same field, but I think that the passing game seems to be more a part of the arsenal for New Lenox Providence.
Definitely, because Bloomington wants to run the option, and that's the #1 priority as far as they're concerned, is being able to run that option. And you've got a great athlete with Chris Orr. Ball and mix the run, and Coach Seffner really looks to Chris Orr to get things done because he's their #1 guy.
Now this is a defense at Providence that held Oswego's Dan Reyna and Chad Bailey to 100 yards total in the semifinals, and obviously bad conditions last week.
Well, in talking with Coach McCombs, his biggest concern was the quickness, both offensively and defensively, of the Providence line from tackle to tackle.
Tom Manzella, a pretty fair wrestler in his own right during the wintertime, will tee it up as Providence has the win at its back, while back deep, all the way back at the goal line, is Marcus Moseley. And here it is for the first time, the Purple Raiders in the state title game here in their own backyard. Two teams with unblemished records, and I was going to wonder how long that football was going to stay on the tee.
I thought maybe they used a little happy glue there or whatever.
It stayed on there an awful long time, and finally did blow off, so Manzella will go and tee it up again. Providence won the toss, deferred its choice to the second half. Manzella says he's ready. Sidewinding kick, taken inside the 5 by Jason Scott. Looks for the wedge to develop, and it never did, as he has dropped back inside the 15-yard line. Getting down there on the special teams, Brian Panic. So coming on will be Billy Dicken. What a year he's had, as he's completed 48% of his passes, a school record 24 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions out of 122 attempts. The offensive line we talked about. There's the change. Aaron Shaw in the middle. Brad Hunt going to the tackle spot where James Martin was supposed to be. But again, he's not starting because of disciplinary reasons. 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. On the option, Dickens keeps. And he runs right into outside linebacker Jim Edson, a 6'3 senior. As we take a look now at the backs for the Purple Raiders and the receivers, Jermaine Ware. He is just 100-plus yards behind the single-season Bloomington record of his brother Dwayne Ware, who's a starting defender for Michigan. 2nd down and 7 from the 17-yard line. High formation backfield with a 2 tight end set. They give us to the fullback, Jason Scott, and he is spun down by Doug Reiser at the 19-yard line, a pickup of only 2.
You know, Tom, we saw all the numbers on Billy Dicken, but the one number that we didn't see on the monitor was the fact that Billy Dicken is number 5 in his class academically. And when you're running the option, you have got to make good decisions. You not only have to be a great athlete, but you've got to make the right decision, when to pull, when to keep, when to pitch. And Billy Dicken is the ideal quarterback for that type of optional offense.
3rd down, and a long 5 yards to go. 3-step drop for Dickens. Throws, it's complete. Moseley hangs on, takes a lick. Brought down by Jeff Young, but a first down at the 29-yard line. They picked up 10.
And that ball was thrown to Marcus Moseley. He runs it in route, and Ware comes to the outside, and just a little pop, and it was a real good, quick pass. Billy Dicken has a very quick release.
Moseley has been to Michigan's camp and drew quite a bit of special attention up there from Michigan coach Gary Moeller. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. First quarter action before a state championship game. Dickens quick out, completes it to Scott. Wrestled down at the 36-yard line. Craig McPartland, the linebacker who really lays a hit, was the first Celtic to meet him. Let's look now at the defenders for Providence as they run out of a 5-2 with the tackles Lackney and Moss, Edson and Reiser. Reiser the nose tackle. Linebackers Manzella, McPartland, and Fitzgibbon. He's also the backup quarterback. The secondary, Schley, a big-time player. He can make the big play. Kier, Kariotis, a real strong one, and Young. 2nd and 2. Dickens keeps. And he is spun down at the 37. No gain on the play. Manzella brought him down. Looked like the trailing back was too far behind him with the windy conditions.
And Manzella really came in and put a real hit on Billy Dicken. Billy Dicken had a little trouble with the fullback, pulls the ball out, and there's Manzella. And there was someone else that came in there. I couldn't catch the number, but Manzella was the very first person to come in there and make the play. But Billy Dicken had trouble with his fullback on the exchange.
3rd and 1, second, 3rd down situation. Looked like early motion. No flags were thrown, and Dickens with the quick keep gets the first down a little bit across the 40-yard line.
Tom, that play always looks like it's somebody was offside, but what happens is it's a relationship that the quarterback and the center have. If he taps him on the cheek, that means we're going to go right now because I've got the first down, and nobody else knows the count except the center and the quarterback.
Rules don't say the linemen have to move at the center.
That's right. That's right, and that's why it looks like it's a little awkward.
1st and 10 from the 41. He delayed aware as he carries for the first time and is stacked up at the 44-yard line. Doug Reiser, the nose tackle, very, very strong, and at times can get a little too aggressive with the stop.
Look at those numbers on Jermaine Ware. 1,400 yards, over 1,400 yards. And that's the one thing that's very nice about this offense that Bloomington has. It's very versatile. You run out of the eye, you can run the option, you can throw the ball. It's not a one-dimensional offense.
A seam runner, really great at the cutback. A little over 4 minutes gone in the first quarter. Bloomington, as rain begins to come down here at Hancock Stadium. Dicken throws it out against the wind and wide open, making the catch, Jason Scott in Providence territory. Covering was Dave Kariotis.
Get a look at it from the end zone here. No fake, it's just about a 4 or 5 step drop, and Jason Scott was wide open. Now that's about the 2nd or 3rd time on different plays that Jason Scott has been wide open.
This will be the 9th play of the opening drive of the game. 7.5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
And you see Bloomington using a lot of different formations, Tom.
Again, Ware. Collared in the backfield at the 50-yard line. As getting back there was Doug Reiser.
That was a little counter. They had the formation into the wide side of the field, and then they ran the counter the opposite way, and you can get a good look right there of that rain coming down.
We were expecting it all day. Local forecasters had changed their forecast. They said it may not come till midnight. Well, they got it on the money again. 7 minutes left to go. It's 2nd and 16. Long pass. Contact, the ball not catchable. Here, the defender, the intended receiver, Moseley, but again, the ball has to be catchable.
And that, I think you'll get a chance to take a look at it. I don't think that's interference. You know, everybody was looking for a call. That's not an interference call at all.
It'll bring up 3rd and long at the 50-yard line. Bloomington has converted the 2 previous 3rd downs on this drive.
This young man, Billy Dicken, certainly has a strong arm.
He audibles about 1/3 of the time during the ball game.
Well, if I had him 5th in the class, I'd let him audible too.
Dickens rolls out and has to keep it. And he is to the 44-yard line. Manzella knocked him out of bounds. He picked up 6 and will bring 4th down for Bloomington.
And number 24, Dave Kariotis, he came in there, and boy, I tell you, if Billy Dicken, and we'll get a chance to see it right now, Billy decides he can't throw the ball, he rolls out to his right, and in hot pursuit, you've got John Fitzgibbons, and then not Manziel, but Kariotis comes in there and looks like he's just about to put him away.
Surprise, Dicken in the punt. He is a do-it-all man. Taken at the 10 by a sophomore, Alan Lenox. Lenox to the 22-yard line. We've got 6.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. No score in the Class 4A state championship battle at Hancock Stadium. Tom Stalker, Bill Gorley with you. First quarter action, first time Providence has the ball.
That was a 34-yard kick. Billy Dickens averaging 36, just a little bit below his average on the punt.
Bloomington had the ball an awful long time. First play for Orr, and he completes a pass near sideline. So the 32-yard line on the reception for Providence was Justin Orr, the quarterback's brother. Keep it in the family.
And that was excellent coverage by Trevor Pacus, number 42. We'll get an opportunity to see him. And he comes in, he loses his footing. He was on him, and then boom. At the last minute, he fell down and lost his concentration. And then, of course, we have the completion, and there's Orr's numbers. Outstanding. 29 touchdowns. That's a school record.
Five interceptions.
Isn't that something?
Out of nearly 200 attempts, and they come out throwing with the wind at their back. The tailback gets the call. Frank Flugrat straight ahead, pounding to the 34-yard line for a gain of 2 on the first down play. Taking a look at the rest of the Celtics offense. An offensive line not exceptionally big, but very quick, with a sophomore at right guard, Rich Rush. The backs and the ends with Orr, of course, the quarterback, Flugrat, the tailback, tight end Jeff Madsen, and the wideouts Justin Orr and Greg Keir, who himself, like Manzella, a two-sport star. They call it 2nd and 9 from the 34-yard line. Flugrat again, pass blocking. Is to the 41-yard line. Jermaine Ware, the defensive back, with the stop for Bloomington.
You know, one of the things that Bloomington wanted the ball right away, obviously, and Providence had won the toss, but Bloomington was able to take up 5.5 minutes, and that's a key as far as they're concerned, is to keep the ball away from this explosive offense of Providence.
It'll bring up 3rd and 1 as Flugrat picked up 7 on the carry. Flugrat picking his way through, has a first down and then some to the 47-yard line. A 6-yard pickup and a new set of downs on the tackle, John Blumenshine for the Purple Raiders. In fact, take a look now at their defense. They run the slant 5-2, which their coach says is patterned after Michigan, but you say it goes back a little farther than that.
Well, it does. It's a defense that Jack Lease had at Leiden, and he borrowed it from Bob Naughton while he was at Loyola Academy. And I hate to tell you how long ago that was, Tom.
This is Providence's first possession of the ball game. 1st and 10 from the 47. A quick out and a completion to Justin Orr. Jermaine Ware knocked him out of bounds. One thing that Providence is very, very good at, especially quarterback Chris Orr, that quick 3-step drop with the timing patterns.
Yes, he's got good feet. He's very quick. And Coach Seffner coaches the offensive defensive line for Providence. He doesn't even fool around with the backs. He feels that the line is where the most fun, and he likes to get down there and get dirty with those people, and that's what he coaches. And of course, then that leaves the quarterback to be able to do a lot of things on his own. The coach gives him the reins to do that.
Pass ruled incomplete as he was out of bounds. It's 2nd and 10 from the 47. Off the play action, Chris Orr throws. It is complete to Jeff Madsen. And he's all the way inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line. Lance Hilliard with the tackle, but a big passing play for Providence. All the way down to the 28-yard line as he picked up 35 yards.
There's the run by
Madsen with the reception.
Thanks, Tom. The wind just blew everything away here.
1st and 10 at the 28. There again, that 3-step drop. Incomplete. Taking a lick was Keir, and then he took another hit. No penalty markers thrown. The initial hit by Steve Young. And then he took another shot by Lance Hilliard.
And you'll see the quick release that Orr takes 2 steps. Then he takes a couple steps up and throws it and drills that ball in there. And there's the lick that we were talking about, Tom. There's a lot of good hitting going on. I tell you what, both teams are taking good shots.
2nd and 10 at the Bloomington 28. 4:10 to go in the first quarter. There's no score in the 4A championship game.
And so far, Carlos Prophet has not really been much of significance defensively for Bloomington.
Bluegrant gets outside, hammers it down to the 20-yard line. Matt Steinling, who transferred from Greenville, South Carolina, and has really helped beef up the linebacking corps for Bloomington, makes the stop.
And that was a good hit by Steinling. He's 5'11", 195. What a great addition he is to that defensive football team.
It'll bring up 3rd and 2. And it looks like that was just a quick hit and run rain shower. The rain has ended since.
I think both these teams are oblivious to what was going on anyway as far as the weather was concerned.
Bluegrant finds a seam, gets the first down, and he is inside the 15-yard line against Steinling, who is Bloomington's leading tackler with 144 stops, makes the stop, and Bluegrant with over 1,200 yards, averaging nearly 6 yards a carry.
I think the thing that Coach McCombs was really concerned about is really showing on this drive is the quickness from tackle to tackle that Providence has shown. They get off the ball awfully fast, and Carlos Prophet really has not been any factor at all. They're doubling him every time.
On the 10th play of this drive, Bluegrant lost his balance a bit, but is able to dive it to the 10-yard line, where he picked up 3 yards.
Normally, Tom, when you double team the nose, that means a linebacker is free. But with the way Providence is running it, they're getting 5-6 yards at a crack, and those linebackers, sure, they're making the play, but number 6, the key football player, Carlos Prophet, has not been of any factor so far.
Greg Keir checked back in the lineup, number 22, replacing Jeff Schley, as they send 2 men split out to the left side. 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. No score. Providence has a chance. That's Schley. And he is to the 6-yard line. Schley, number 2 tailback, has gained 703 yards this year. Mark Irby makes the stop.
But take a look at the nose guard. There's a single block. And Carlos Prophet tries to play the block off to get into the play. He trails it and comes around and makes that play. Now, nose guards have been known to keep going down the line, and eventually they'll get it. But it has to go hand-to-hand. It's like hand-to-hand combat, and that's exactly what Carlos Prophet did on that play.
3rd and a long 3.
Which is the first time he's been productive as far as Bloomington's defense is concerned.
We're under the 2-minute mark. Bluegrant hit hard at the line. Wrapped up by Dave Griffin, the left tackle, who's got a quick first step and beat his man there and was waiting for Bluegrant.
Look at the size of that young man. Whoa! My goodness. Look at him come in, 6'6". They say 288, but I know you know there's more than that, isn't there, Tom?
Well, he tips the scale there at a good, healthy. There's James Martin. They weighed him earlier this week as he is now in the lineup. Again, he didn't start. They weighed him at 326 pounds. That's what they told me earlier this week. I wanted to ask, where'd they weigh him?
That's what I was just going to say.
4th down, and in to try the field goal is Tony Sambo. And the officials whistles off play, and a timeout taken by the Celtics with 57 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. And they didn't have enough men out there. They had 10 men as Harley Raisler gets out there. This will be a 24-yard attempt, but they had to burn off a timeout because they only had 10 men out there.
Last year, Coach Sefner said that was one of the problems that they had is they would make a lot of mistakes because they had a young football team. Now this year, they have a senior-dominated team. 8 people returning on their defense and a number of them on offense. And they don't have that many two-way players. They have 2 players that go both ways, but it's mainly a senior-dominated football team, and 5 of the captains are defensive players.
Also, they've got 2 sophomores. The snapper, Sam Bredlinger, is a sophomore. The holder, Alan Leconsis, is a sophomore.
And that's something we have not seen. In the 2A game, there weren't very many sophomores. I think there was 2, and we're seeing 2 here. And that's unusual. Usually in the lower levels, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll see a lot more sophomores playing.
Once again, Sambo will try to put the Celtics in front with a 24-yard try. And Providence is on the board with 53 seconds. left to go in the first quarter as they take a 3-0 4-yard field goal by Lee Sambo.
Well, if this first quarter is any indication, we could have a barn burner, Tom.
The drive started back at the Providence 22-yard line. And the drive lasts 13 plays. And it culminates with the field goal. And a big 35-yard reception in that drive to help get him down deep into Bloomington territory. 3-0. Again, 5.5 minutes in the first possession for Bloomington, 5:37 there for Providence.
13 plays, 68 yards, and they come up with a field goal. And there's a picture of the young man that just kicked the field goal, 24 yards.
So Providence will kick with the wind at its back. Tom Manzella will send it sailing with Marcus Moseley back at his 1-yard line. And he takes a line drive that goes through his arms and will go through the end zone, and they'll take it out to the 20-yard line.
Boy, that was a real knuckleball, but that ball really took off.
With 51 seconds remaining, Bloomington will start this series against the wind, but then we'll have the wind at its back. And again, it is a factor here out of the straight south here at Hancock Stadium.
Bloomington has an offense that averages about 6'2", 230 pounds from tackle to tackle, depending on who's in there. And that's really a sizable group for a 4A football team.
Billy Dicken runs the 40 and 4.7 on the legitimate Division I prospect in his future. The running play doesn't get much. Frank Lackney stopped the play for the Celtics.
That exchange between the fullback and the quarterback doesn't seem to be as smooth as you would expect at this juncture in the season. And usually that's a husband and wife type deal where they have a feel for each other and they know exactly. And that's something that you have a problem with early in the year when you run the option, but not at this stage of the season.
Most likely the last play of the first quarter on 2nd and 9. Dicken now wanting to reposition as he had to move Scott back from a wingback to the fullback. And they ran out of, no, they did not run out of time. There were 3 seconds, but somebody apparently lined up in the neutral zone as the penalty markers fly.
Ball start, offense.
It was a false start, followed by an offensive lineman anticipating the call. As we mentioned earlier, Billy Dicken audibilizes quite a bit at the line of scrimmage. He knows exactly where he wants his people to line up. And that's unusual for a young man to be a junior and be able to run an offense of this nature and be able to handle the thing as he does and do all the things that he does.
So Bloomington lets the clock run out. They'll have the wind at their back as we get ready to go to the second quarter. After 1, it is 3-0 Providence. Hancock Stadium at Illinois State University. The scene, the game tonight, the battle for the 4A state championship in the Illinois High School Association. New Lenox Providence Catholic leads 3-0 as we go to the second quarter. And Bloomington now with the wind at its back. It'll be 2nd and long. Bloomington in the playoffs for the 7th time this year, a playoff record of 10 and 6. Providence in the playoffs for the 12th time. Dicken to put it up. Looking long, it's incomplete. Marcus Moseley tried the leaping catch down the sidelines. It was covered by cornerback Greg Keir.
At his other end, Brian Engle, number 86, was wide open. Billy Dicken had just looked a little bit to his left. He would have found Brian Engle.
Moseley with 33 receptions on the year, a school record 12 touchdowns. Big play guy, obviously, over 20 yards of reception.
Well, and that's why Billy was looking for him, but you also have to look for your tight end trailing across, because in a lot of times he'll be the guy that'll be wide open. That type of pass play.
3rd and 14 from the Raiders' 16-yard line. Dicken over the middle, wide open Moseley Chip Moseley with the catch. And he gets yardage up to the 43-yard line. Tom Manzella on the tackle. But a big play and a first down for Bloomington.
I think we need to mention that the fact there are two Mosleys. There's a Chip Moseley and Marcus Moseley. We'll get the chance to see it right from the end zone camera. Billy Dicken take 1, 2, 3. Three-step drop, and it's just a matter of just going right down the middle. The Providence defense was way over to the far side of the field, wide side of the field, and Moseley the gap right up the middle. As you can see right there, there's no safety.
The option pitch to Ware on first down. Oh, he was collared down from behind. A good one.
Cariotis.
By Dave Cariotis at 170 pounds, called man for man, the strongest on the Providence team.
Well, you can look at him. His arms don't hang down at the side because he's got so many muscles.
He has deadlifted 536 pounds at 5'7".
Well, I'll tell you, he is built like a brick house.
Yeah. He lifted as much as big lineman Harley Raessler did in an off-season powerlift competition featuring Joliet Catholic, Joliet Central.
I can't even think how much that is.
Wow.
It's like picking up a cow.
2nd and 6 from the 47. Dicken with time. And he's got a man wide open. Marcus Moseley with the catch at the 41-yard line of Providence. Again, Cariotis on the coverage.
Let's isolate it right on the receiver, Marcus Moseley. There's nothing fancy about that pattern. He just runs a 12-yard pattern, and Billy Dicken gets it right to him. Cariotis is holding off. They're backed off a little bit. Maybe they're afraid of the speed. I don't know what, but the ball was thrown up above the defense, and at 5'7", Cariotis isn't going to be able to knock the ball down too much.
After a gain of 12, it's 1st and 10 at the Celtic 41. Quick handoff. Ware breaks a tackle one time, but couldn't get away from nose tackle Doug Reiser, who hauled him down at the 38-yard line, a gain of 3.
And Ware just had his 1 foot away from maybe breaking a big one because Reiser pulled it in. Ware couldn't pick up his foot.
Under 10 minutes now for the second quarter. 3-0. Providence leads. Bloomington moving the ball. This drive began at the Bloomington 20-yard line.
This is really a versatile offense that Bloomington has.
Dicken dropped back, plenty of time, and it is picked off, intercepted by Keir. And Keir over the 30, 35, 40. Run out of bounds. Close to midfield, a big interception by Greg Keir, the 5'9" senior.
And that's a perfect example of what Coach Seffner said about his defense. And now I can understand. Even though his offense is scoring 40 points, he said his defense comes first. And they're the ones that set up the opportunity. Now here's a ball, well thrown by Billy Dicken, just a little bit over his head. And this is a great interception. And watch the defensive people throwing different blocks all the way down. And in balance, that's just an outstanding catch. Good interception.
It's at the Providence 48-yard line, a 35-yard interception return. Or rolling out and threw it by 2 receivers. He had 2 men out, both Dave Cariotis out running a pattern. And he also had Brett Everett. Or in tough conditions against Oswego, passed for 101 yards in the semifinals. Coach Matt Seffner. 5-4 last year. They didn't make the playoffs for the first time since '82.
You know, Providence has a great wrestling tradition as well, and there's a number of young men out here. They all look like they're wrestlers.
Providence, they feel like they've got a chance in 3 sports to win state titles. Obviously here in football, but also in wrestling and in baseball.
They all have that presence about them. They're not real tall people, and yet they're all put together very well. They're not all heavy people. They all have quickness. They have great feet and great balance, as we saw on Greg Keir's interception.
Or the quarterback you see there has really blossomed this year because he didn't get any quality playing time last year. He had virtually no real snaps. I mean, he might have played in some slop time. But Sefner has really been happy with the improvement week by week of his quarterback.
Well, I think their independent schedule really hurt them a little bit in terms of being able to get the recognition that they thought they deserved.
2nd and 10 from the Celtic 48. Straight ahead, the tailback Flugrad gets it over the 50 to the 49-yard line. And let's go on to our sideline analyst and Joe Paschett.
Well, you were talking about how experienced Greg Keir is playing, number 22 for Providence, on both sides of the line of scrimmage, both defensively and offensively. One thing we should note against Oswego in the 4A semifinal last week down at Providence, it was Keir who got a separated shoulder. He's still playing with that separated shoulder. That's how tough the kid is. Back upstairs to you guys.
Thank you very much, Joe. 8:45 to go in the second quarter. Providence with the ball after a Greg Keir interception. They lead 3-0. Plenty of time for Orr. Finds Matson over the middle to the 38-yard line, tackled by 3 Raiders, including Trevor Patches and Lance Hilliard.
What Joe didn't tell you is that Greg Keir is the only player on Providence that goes both ways. He's the only two-way player.
A 10-yard pickup on the passing play and a first down for Providence at the Raider 39-yard line. One step further, the theme this year for Terry McCombs and the Purple Raiders. Off the tailback. Flugrad breaks a tackle, is upended at the 34-yard line by the defensive back Corey Anders, a 6'2 sophomore, who leads the Purple Raiders with 6 interceptions.
Flugrad is just your regular hard-nosed blue-collar type worker. He's just got those feet that are moving all the time, and he's just looking for any opening he can get. Doesn't have tremendous speed, but he's got quick feet. Bloomington has been playing a too-deep zone, and you have to wonder here maybe if Chris Orr might not look to see if the middle zone is open and he can throw the football.
Orr is in motion. That's Justin Orr. On the carry to the 30-yard line, Jeff Schley, the 5'9 senior, as he's stopped by Steve Young at the 30-yard line after a pickup of 4.
Every one of these runners that you see in Providence, they have some great...
Well, either it's cold down there, Bill, or his plane's about to take off any day now.
That was a little disconcerting, but anyway, my thought was that they run with reckless abandon. Every one of the backs that you have at Providence, they don't run straight ahead. Their legs are going every which way, and they're looking for any kind of a crack that they can possibly get.
3rd and short. Flugrad bounced off a blocker, spins for the first down. Look like they'll give him progress. They will to the 28-yard line.
If the movement of the offensive line is any indication, Providence is beating them off the ball. They're coming off the ball very quick and really getting into that defense. And the slanting and the angles that Bloomington likes to do so well defensively really isn't taking effect because it looks to me like maybe we might have some zone blocking by Providence, and there's Coach Sefner.
And he knew he had a quick team. In fact, that was one thing that Terry McCombs was really leery about, handling Providence's speed. 6:20 left to go. Schley pops through a hole and is gang tackled at the 23-yard line after he picked up a quick 5. Trevor Patches, the outside linebacker, the first Purple Raider to meet him.
Well, you know, just to get back to that thought, Tom, about the quickness, it isn't only the way the offensive line gets off the ball, it's how quick the backs get up into the hole. That's the difference, because you can have a quick line, but if you don't have the backs hitting in right away, those holes will close.
Everett and Justin Orr are the wideouts. And they have an offset pro set backfield behind the quarterback, Chris Orr. Flugrad to the right side to the 18-yard line. Taken down by Patches once again.
Just a reverse out, and there's a lead block. And he just found that lead runner, and he's just going and putting his head down and getting every yard. You see, they're not going to break long ones because they run like that. They don't pick up their feet. They're not looking sideways. They're just looking to get an extra yard anytime they can, and they're not looking for the touchdown from far out.
They bring the chains into measure. It appears that Providence may have the first down with 5 minutes and 32 seconds to go in the second quarter. Providence leads 3-0 on a 24-yard field goal, and they're just short.
And Flugrat, who just ran that ball, he's 178 pounds, but they're all solid. There isn't any fat on any of those young people.
They'll spot it officially. They'll call it the 19, and it'll be 3rd and 1. This will be the third down in this series for Providence. They converted 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 2. You see, Providence has been very successful. Bloomington as well, offensively.
If you're looking at percentages, 3 for 3 is better than 4 for 5, Coach.
And an apparent first down for Providence, but they'll have to unpile the bodies and see just how far they got the football. They got the first down, so the drive stays alive. That was the 9th play in the series. It began after Keir's interception and his return of 35 yards to the Providence 48-yard line.
And the man that you saw get up last was Carlos Prophet, who was in on that tackle. So again, he's starting to make some effect, possibly with the defense for Bloomington.
1st and 10 from the 17-yard line for Providence. Approaching the 5-minute mark for the second quarter. Or maybe audibilizing. The toss to Flugrat. Nice cutback. And he ran right into a whole bunch of white and purple.
And that's a design play. They're looking for the cutback on that because the 3 down people were all real tight. They had the center and the 2 guards covered. And if you can block that, you come back against them, and you can see it right here. He was looking. That's a designed football player to cut back. But it wasn't there.
Good job by Dave Griffin to play off his block and make the stop. A gain of 3. It's 2nd down and 7 at the 14.
We're looking at the same defense right here.
Schley picks a hole through the right side to about the 13-yard line, maybe a yard. Matt Steimling, linebacker, makes the stop.
The way they line up, Tom, they give you the indication that they might be running to the wide side of the field. They have 2 receivers, and they have all the backs to one side. But if you get rid of the receivers and you look back, they're coming back to the tight end side. They're running to the strength. The strength looks like it's to the wide side, but it's really back to the short side.
Under 4 minutes. This is the 12th play of this drive. 3rd and 6. Orr puts it up, completes it to Matson. He is inside the 10, but short of the yardage needed for the first down. Carlos Prophet makes the tackle.
And there's the efficiency, the passing efficiency that Chris Orr has. And he was not looking for anybody else other than the young man he threw the ball to. We'll get a chance to take a look at it right there. And, of course, it's Jeff Matson that he wants to throw the ball to. Jeff Matson seems to be his favorite receiver so far this evening.
Because I believe they're keying more on Justin Orr, Keir, and Everett and others. Matson, not really a true tight end. In fact, Matt Sefner calls him a middle infielder turned tight end. 4th and 2. Hurling all right. Is Flugrat. He's close to the goal line. He got the first down, and yardage to spare as he leaped over the right side of the line for the first down.
And he literally got that because he jumped over. And you don't tell people to do that. If you get a chance to see it on a replay, you tell people not to leap because that's the way you can get hurt. He actually hurdles over and then gets his feet. Most people who hurdle will go down. He was able to keep his balance. Outstanding play.
It's at the 2. Now I know why that one Celtic was wearing the pilot's helmet. It was Air Providence. Flugrat pounds it to the 1-yard line. Right into the meat of the Bloomington defense. Mark Irby, the right tackle, among a host of Purple Raiders to make the tackle. 2 minutes, 24 seconds remaining. Providence leading 3-0 and bidding to extend the lead. It's 2nd and goal from a yard away.
Well, at this junction again, you'd have to say this is a key football play for the Bloomington defense.
The full house backfield. Nothing going to the left side for Dave Carriolis. Jermaine Ware came up and dropped him for a loss.
With a slanting defense, you really don't want to run outside the tackles. You want to stay inside the tackles. It's a power backfield. He really didn't have a chance to be able to take it inside. Bloomington attacked them so well, and they slanted the right way. And, of course, you had Ware making the tackle.
His brother Dwight, who starts defensively for Michigan, would have been proud of that play. It's a loss of 2. 3rd and goal for Providence at the 3. They've got Keir and Orr wideouts. But now whistles are blown. And a timeout taken by Providence.
And it was taken by Frank Flugart.
1 minute, 22 seconds to go in the second quarter. Providence facing a crucial 3rd and goal. Leads 3-0. Late in the second quarter, Providence leading, facing 3rd and goal from the 3. This is the 16th play of a drive that so far has taken over 4 minutes. T.J. King and Flugrat are the setbacks. Orr rolls out, throws it away. He was under heavy pressure, intended for Orr, but he was about to get hit hard by Trevor Patches.
Our end zone camera will show Pacas coming in and making and really putting the pressure on to the point where Chris Orr really has actually been turned. He can't see his receiver, so he actually threw the ball out of the end zone.
One of the few times that he has been pressured trying to pass the football. He's gotten great protection from his line tonight.
Yeah, and he's got good movement, too. He's a very mobile young guy, and he gets outside the tackle box, and he can make things happen. Now they're lining up again for Tony Sambo's opportunity to kick the field goal.
A 20-yard try out of the hold of Alan Lecompsis. Now penalty markers fly all over the place. And Bloomington says it's against the Celtics. Illegal procedure. It'll cost him foul. Now against the wind, it'll be a 25-yard field goal.
Now he kicked the 24-yarder with the wind. Let's see if he's got a strong enough leg to be able to put it up for 3 points against the wind.
With this kind of a win, 5 yards makes a lot of difference. A minute 16 left to play in the second quarter. Providence leading 3-0. But now they bring Chris Orr back in. And they're not going to kick it. They're going to go for it on 4th and goal. The ball at the 8-yard line. Play action fake by Orr. Spun down back at the 18-yard line. As shooting back there, the outside linebacker, John Blumenshine.
That's a big football play because now the momentum is going to Bloomington's way. They'll start the ball out at 20. Obviously, you've got a minute and 11 seconds. Billy Dicken certainly is going to be able to throw the ball. There's the fake. He comes out. He doesn't get enough depth. And John Blumenshine just takes him down by one arm. Good angle. Blumenshine was actually pushed into the quarterback by a block.
So that penalty was indeed costly.
Well, yes, and if Orr had taken a different path, he would have been better off.
Dicken goes right up top and has a receiver at the 19-yard line. The catch made by Jason Scott, and John Fitzgibbon makes the stop for Providence.
Yeah, that penalty was a big play because that changed the ideas of what Sefner wanted to do. And then, of course, then Orr doesn't get enough depth to be able to throw the ball, and he's thrown for a loss.
2nd and 8 from the 20. Billy Dicken throws incomplete on the far sidelines at the 32-yard line. He intended for Marcus Moseley with John Fitzgibbon covering.
Tom, you mentioned the fact that Billy Dicken was a Division I possibility, and the more I see him throw the football, the more I feel that he is not just a possibility. He is a Division I, and he's only a junior. He really has a quick release and a strong arm, and he's a great athlete.
You would figure after a 12-1 year, they're 13-0 this year. Bloomington had just a great foundation to build on. No, only 3 starters came back on offense. They had to totally rebuild. A 3rd down play. It's 3rd and 8. Bloomington's been perfect so far converting him. Dicken buys himself some time, but runs out of time as he is hit back at the 8-yard line. Doug Reiser, the first Celtic to get there.
The Providence coaching staff is calling for timeout. They want to force a punt, and they're going to go after it.
With 14 seconds remaining. Here in the second quarter, 3-0 Providence, and Bloomington with the win at its back, and the Celtics want to talk it over as they take a timeout. Two undefeated teams in the battle for 4A, and it's somewhat ironic that you have to have a little bit of luck to win some games, even luck from other teams. If Chicago Harper had not withdrawn, they had used an ineligible player. They withdrew after they were put into the playoffs. Bloomington would have been the smallest enrollment in 5A. They were the biggest in 4A after that move.
It's funny how those numbers change things, isn't it?
Well, we might want to explain a little bit. They don't tell you before the season, folks, you're going to be in 2A, you're going to be in 3A. When they get all the playoff qualifiers, they take the smallest 32, you're in 1A. The next 32, you're in 2A. They do it at the 10th week of the season. That's when you find out exactly what level you're going to play, what classification you are. 14 seconds. And Billy Dicken about 3 yards deep in his end zone to punt it with the win. Gets it away. Alan LeCompton.
Oh, look at that punt!
The win. Carried it, and it's rolling all the way inside the 20. He picks it up at the 19. LeCompton is going to return it. The clock has expired, so he had no other choice, and he is brought down at the 32-yard line.
That was a 64-yard punt.
Holy mackerel.
Now, I know that's wind-aided, but nevertheless, 64 yards, that really got him out of a hole, and, of course, there are the half ends.
What a way to end the first half. Two teams that have been stingy defensively have lived up to that here. In the first half, only 3 points on the scoreboard, and those owned by Providence.
And a movement penalty is the difference in this football game, because it's 3-0. Bloomington's going in now. They still feel they have a possibility. If Providence scores, they're down 10-0. That changes the whole complexion.
A first half marked by long drives and time-consuming possessions. One turnover, and that was at midfield, and it resulted in a long drive for Providence.
Well, Providence came into the game and said, we want to keep the ball away from Bloomington because they've got a good offense. And Bloomington is saying, hey, we want to keep the ball away from that explosive 40-point average that Providence has. So both coaches feeling they got to do the same thing, and we're seeing evidence of that.
Normally, Bill, you'd think with a score of 3-0 that offenses have been ineffective. I don't think that's the case.
No, not in the least. It's just that they haven't been able to take advantage of some of the scoring situations. And even with Providence, they've got the field goal. That was the only alternative. They weren't able to get it in. They got the field goal. So it's certainly the offenses have been effective.
Okay, Joe Passion has Coach Terry McCombs.
All right, Terry, you got to get back in the locker room. I understand biggest adjustments in such a close game.
We have to make some adjustments to counterbalance their quickness. We're having problems with their defensive quickness.
All right, Coach, go get him in the second half. Thank you very much, Terry. We wanted to get back into the locker room as quickly as possible and make the adjustments that are necessary in what has become a very close 4A championship game. We're at the half. It's 3-0. In the meantime, we'll send it back up to Tom and Bill.
We are at halftime, back with more of halftime festivities of the 4A title game from Hancock Stadium. It's a tight ball game, 3-0 Providence. It's halftime at Hancock Stadium of the Class 4A State Championship. A very special guest joins us at halftime, and let's go down to the field and Joe Passion.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. And I think a lot of people who are very familiar with the Illinois High School Association by now are familiar with Dave Fry, the executive director of the Illinois High School Association. And I know one of your biggest projects in the last year, something you put a lot of sincerity and a lot of hard work into, is Be a Good Sport program. For those who are not familiar with this, fill us in.
Well, Joe, we have a belief that sportsmanship is something that is reflective of societal behavior. And as we see our society becoming more of a violent society, more self-centered society, we're seeing some of those same things spill over into the way people behave, both on the field and on the court and in the stands and in the whole atmosphere surrounding interscholastic athletics and activities. We want to do something about that. And we think that that's an image that can change with a lot of serious hard work.
Well, of course, a great idealistic image, and I support it tremendously. How do you get it into the kids, into their mentality, and then, of course, into the grandstands, which may be even a rougher road to overcome?
Well, we're faced with a generation of high school students today who really believe that they can make a difference in their world. And we'd like to help them believe that they can teach their parents, their adult models, that there is a different kind of a role model out there, that they don't have to look to what they see in professional sport or what they see in college sport, but that the kids involved in high school athletics want this to be something different and special, to model what really ought to be good sportsmanship. And if we can sell that message to kids, moms and dads will fall into line with that one.
Well, I think a lot of people already are, Dave, and I think you would agree, particularly in the high school sports over the past few years. We're seeing attendance figures going up, particularly in the finals in all the major sports, as well as even some of the so-called minor sports. And I think people are beginning to realize what a great offer small ticket and the great entertainment value that a high school event brings.
Well, there's no question. It's absolutely the best entertainment by going. You can have a great time, good activity, wholesome atmosphere, and the cost is very, very nominal.
And how many people do you think actually bring a date, their wife maybe, and go back to their past a little bit and go to a high school game, whether it be their alumni or not, and find out, hey, this isn't too bad. And I think maybe that good sport part about it, the personableness in the stands, is part of it.
Well, I agree with that observation. My neighbor across the street comes from Robinson, Illinois. And this afternoon, our street was just filled with cars. I think 5% of Robinson was at his house. Could hardly get in and out of our street this afternoon. And I think that epitomizes what high school sports does. It generates a tremendous amount of excitement. It's great entertainment. It's terrific to see kids do what they like to do and do it at such high levels. That, I guess, is the thing I like best about my job, because that's what I get to do week in and week out.
What about these schools and how they're enacting this program within their own school systems?
We're looking to find out a lot about what's happening. I know one conference, the Corn Belt Conference right here in Middle Illinois, is having the referees do ratings on the fans, the coaches, and the players through their basketball season. And they intend to give a conference sportsmanship award based on what the referees say good sportsmanship was. Kind of an interesting concept. And we're looking this coming week, on the next Wednesday, in fact, to having a group of 50 to 60 people into our office, a cross-section of people from government leaders to some folks from law enforcement to students to parents, to help us brainstorm on what we can do to promote, to recognize, to encourage and teach good sportsmanship. We think they'll give us a great, really good start.
Well, it sounds like you've got it started in the right direction without question. We've just got about a minute or so, Dave. Real quickly, the feedback you've gotten from coaches about the most recent high school football playoff changes and the seedings, and now that it's almost all over, what have been some of the feedback you've gotten from coaches around the state?
Well, we get feedback from coaches, we get it from administrators as well, and certainly we get it from the public. The feedback initially was people seemed to be surprised by the change. It was a quick thing. It really wasn't quick in that it had been discussed for a long period of time, but it sort of came upon people quickly. So there was a concern about the rapidity of it. There was secondly a concern about the scheduling squeeze that it created for larger schools especially. Nobody wanted to play them anymore because it might affect their own average of their opponents and affect their chances for their class in the playoffs. So those two things are areas where we need to work. Overall, however, my observation at least has been that people who say, who look at it and are able to say, I really think that it's fair. Now, you play where you play, and the competition you get in the playoffs is the level of competition you get in the regular season. And it seems to be working out on an equitable basis. Of course, it's really too soon to tell. We need to sit down, statistically analyze it, and spend some time discussing it over the course of the spring, and then we'll see where we go for next year.
Well, based on the 12 teams that are in the finals here over these 2 days, it seems to at least be in the early going a big success. Dave, thanks for all your work. You're doing a great job. Hope that Be a Good Sport continues to go in the right direction.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, we will be back with more of our Class 4A state championship game from Hancock Stadium with the score at the half. Providence in the lead right now, 3-0 over Bloomington. We'll be back after this timeout.
Tom Stocker back with you as 3-0 is our score at halftime in the battle for the Class 4A state championship here at blustery Hancock Stadium. One field goal, all we had to show for the scoring in the first half. Let's go take a look. Here is the only points of the ball game. A 24-yard field goal by Providence's Tony Sambo with 53 seconds left in the first quarter. Only turnover of the game, Billy Dicken looping it for the sidelines. With a fine interception by Greg Keir. He returns it 35 yards down the sidelines to the 48. And that begins a long, time-consuming Providence drive, needing a key third down conversion. Frank Flugrat, the tailback, goes airborne over the right side of the line and gets it down to the 1-yard line. But an illegal procedure penalty moved it back to the 5. Providence decided to go for it. And here's what happened. As Moore runs out of time, great job by Greg Blumenshine for the sack. And then on the final play of the first half, with the wind 20 to 25 miles an hour at his back, Billy Dicken lets one fly. He got a big foot into it, and the wind gave him a big lift. An IHSA record 70-yard punt.
Well, they gave him the bounce. It actually bounced at 64, but they gave him the extra 6 yards. But that's a tremendous kick. And, of course, it got him out of a hole, but the clock ran out at halftime.
So, again, with a 3-0 lead, Bill, you know, as I mentioned earlier, well, this is just a defensive struggle, but really the offensives have seemed to move the ball almost at will between the 20s.
Right. I think the key, as far as I'm concerned, has been the play of number 68, Todd O'Neill. Or Odell, rather, I'm sorry. He's Providence. Well, he's just doing a good job against Carlos Profit. Carlos Profit is the man who makes the defense for Bloomington go because he's a nose guard. He disrupts things, and the offensive guard, Todd O'Neill, is blocking him. And Carlos Profit really has not been that great significance as far as the defense has been concerned with Bloomington. Yet it's a 3-0 football game.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Let's take a break ourselves, as we'll be back with the third quarter of the 4A championship game exclusively on Sports Channel. Tom Stocker and Bill Gorley with you, moments away from the start of the third quarter as Providence leads 3-0, and we take a look at how the numbers stacked up in the first half. And with a low-scoring ball game, not a lot of total offense, with Providence leading there 111 to 82, only 10 yards rushing, Bill, for Bloomington.
And that, of course, is a surprise as far as I'm concerned, because Jermaine Ware, over 1,400 yards, you'd expect more out of him. But Billy Dicken seemed to have gone to the air a little bit more, maybe than they thought they had to. But I still feel that we're looking at these numbers. We saw some good offense from both football teams, but the key, I feel, has been the offensive play of Todd Odell against Carlos Profit.
Individually, Ware with only 2 net yards on 4 carries in the first half. Time of possession, Providence with a rather decisive edge there.
Well, like you said, Ware has only had 4 carries, so normally he would get a lot more in a football game than that. And you have to wonder if Terry McCombs hasn't just said, well, let's go to throw the ball. I would think that you would go back to the balanced offense that they have had. They run the option, they run out of the eye, they can attack you a lot of different ways. Right now, at this point in the first half, it looks like they felt like they could throw the ball more than they needed to run.
Individually, the win doesn't seem to be affecting the passing game in terms of percentages. Dicken has completed 6 of 10 for 72 yards, or 4 of 7 for 51 yards. Each quarterback has been sacked 1 time. But now the second half, again with the large offensive line for Bloomington, I thought they'd be running the ball more. What might you see different in the third quarter?
Personally, I think you're going to see more option from Bloomington. They really need to run the option and establish it. And they didn't have the relationship between the fullback and the quarterback, and that's the key. That's where the option has to start. And the exchange, as far as I'm concerned, is not very good. And that's where you've got to begin. And I would think that with that, then you can go with some play-action passes from Billy Dicken, because he's got the ability to get outside the tackle box and be able to make things occur outside the end.
Okay, let's go down to Joe Passion, who has the Providence head coach.
All right, thanks very much, Tom. Matt, tell us a little bit about the halftime. Obviously, a very close first half of this ball game.
Well, you know, Joe, it's simply a matter of us when we get in the red zone, we got to score. All right, we were down there, we didn't score the second time, and you know, that was a problem for us. You know, we should have scored. We should have been right in there. We made a mistake on the field goal attempt, and you know, it hurt us. So we got to play good fundamental football. We feel there's some things we can exploit the second half. You know, do some things with our passing game. Run the ball, you know, in certain areas that the kids felt they could handle people. So we'll see what happens.
All right, go get it, Matt. All right, Matt Sapner, head coach of the Providence Catholic Celtics, ready to go at it with a 3-0 lead here going into the second half of this Class 4A state championship game. In the meantime, we'll take it back upstairs to Tom.
You see, Providence will receive against the wind to start the third quarter. For New Lenox, Providence in the first half, Bill, 2 of their possessions alone consumed 14 minutes on the clock.
And that's, I think, where they want to start. They want to take and consume a lot of time and have 14, 16, 17 play drive, but be able to get in. Just as Coach said, Sefner said, they need to get in that red zone and need to score. And that's the key. If they can get 7 points right here, then they're going to force Bloomington to throw the football, which they did in the first half with moderate success. Bloomington, on the other hand, coming out offensively, they feel it, and I would think that they would feel this way just in some conversation as it was downstairs, is that they've got to run the option. And they've got to set the tempo of running the option. Then they can throw the ball. Then they can come out of the eye. I don't know if they'll do that, but we'll see right now.
Couple of nervous gentlemen you saw right there. The opposing head coaches, 1 half of football left. Billy Dicken will kick it off for Bloomington. Jeff Schley, who had a big 63-yard return for a touchdown against Oswego last week, is back deep. Dicken kick with the win, taken 2 yards deep, and it'll be a touchback. It'll come out to the 20-yard line.
Billy Dicken does everything. He even picks up the tee and gives it to the water boy, so there isn't too much that he doesn't do.
So Chris Orr, Jeff Schley, versatile defender, tailback. The wind has anything but subsided. And Providence will go into the teeth of that wind, sending 2 men out wide of the left side to begin the third quarter from the 20. Bluegrass picking his way over the 25 to the 26-yard line. It's good blocking and gets good yardage, a 6-yard gain on first down.
And again, I watched Carlos Prophet, and Odell handled him. He drove him back 5 yards, completely out of the direction of the way that Flugrat was running the football.
Odell, the center, number 68, the leader, and very consistent, very, very strong. 2nd and 4 from the 26. Lugrat, this time the left side, stood straight up as he got to the 27-yard line, picked up only a yard. He was stood straight up by Matt Steinling.
The interesting thing right now is that Odell is blocking Prophet by himself. It's a single block. They're not doubling him. And he's been able to handle him. Again, he handled him. Prophet just came in and cleaned things up. But he's not effective, and he's not really hurting the Providence offense.
That Bloomington defense earlier this year held Normal Community to minus 49 yards rushing in a ball game. Wow. 3rd down and short. Quick out. Juggled, incomplete. They were battling for the football or juggled. He was battling with Young, and it finally fell to the turf.
If Steve Young had just put out his right hand, he would have had an interception. We'll get a chance. It's just a 3-step drop. Young is right in his face, sticks his hand in. If he lifted his hand up, he would have had an interception.
Back to punt, Tom Manzella, who averaged 35 yards a punt on the season. His best effort, 56 yards. This will be against the stiff wind. Long snap from Sam Bredlinger and a line drive kick. And falling down with it after hauling it in was Marcus Moseley.
And Manzella kicked the ball the way you should in this ballpark. With the wind, you've got to keep the ball low. You can't get it up in the air. If you get it up in the air, you're going to have a problem. It's going to come back in your face. He kicked a line drive and got some decent yardage. So at least Providence defense has a little room to move.
10:41 remaining in the third quarter. A tight ball game. That was a punt of 26 yards against the win. And the Purple Raiders will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. Dicken on the pitch to Ware. He had only 2 yards. He'll have a lot more than that on that carry. He's forced out of bounds. He took out a referee with him on the far side. He's out of bounds at about the 42-yard line.
Now, we said that they would come back and use the option. There's a good example. It's just a pitch. There is no fullback in that particular option. It's a sprint option. And they did not run the fullback up because that's where they were having difficulty with the option, was the relationship between the fullback and the quarterback.
After the 13-yard pickup, keeping it as Dicken broke away from a tackle, pitches to Ware, but it's strung out well. And he is knocked out of bounds at the 44. They lose 3. Greg Keir, the cornerback, was the man to knock Ware out of bounds.
And the penetration is what ruined the option. You had the fullback come up, the quarterback, Billy Dicken, had to get too deep. The relationship was not good. And then, of course, you have everybody coming up to mop up, to clean up on the option. You had 3 people come off the ball to the pitch. That's the key to stopping the option.
So Terry McComb said we didn't use Jermaine Ware much in the first half. We go to him 2 times quickly here early in the third quarter. It's 2nd and 13. Dicken has to scramble. Oh, nearly dropped for a loss. Keeps his balance. Throws deep. It's caught at the 10-yard line. What an effort by the quarterback, Billy Dicken. Oh, my. Inside the 10, it's 1st and goal.
That play was made, and we'll get a chance to take a look at Billy Dicken. He's almost caught from behind. He has enough balance to keep his feet, enough presence of mind to continue on outside. He's almost out of bounds. Lets the ball fly.
Marcus Moseley.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Marcus Moseley makes the catch.
36 yards. This time, Dicken can't escape. He's dropped and spun for a loss at the 9.
And they were going back to run the option in the penetration. And it was a single back. It was just going to be the pitch or keep with Billy Dicken and with Ware.
They're spotted at the 11-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal after the loss of 3 yards. Tom Manzella looking at a couple of all-area teams, a very physical linebacker. Bloomington trails 3-0.
Anytime Billy Dicken scrambles, Providence is going to have trouble containing everybody.
And the penalty markers fly.
Movement.
Most likely early motion in the offensive line for Bloomington. The clock stops with 8 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the third period. 3-0 Providence.
On the offense. Still 2nd down.
Center. That was movement on the center.
And drew his own offensive lineman
offside, yes.
Made him jump early. It's back to the 16 now. We're at 2nd and goal.
Now this changes the play call a little bit. You tend not to go to the option because they haven't had, they've had too much penetration by Providence.
Penalty markers are thrown. The pass completed to the 8-yard line by Dicken. With Marcus Moseley making the reception, Jeff Young brings him down immediately, but let's sort out the penalty.
And that flag was thrown before Billy Dicken threw the pass.
Illegal motion on the offense.
Another costly mistake for Bloomington.
Can't really see. You really can't see the motion as well, and that's a well-thrown ball. And the flag was thrown outside by one of the field judges.
May have been just a quick little false start by the left guard. It's now back to the 21-yard line as Terry McComb says, hey guys, you're going the wrong way. It's 2nd and goal.
And again, this is not what Coach McCombs wants because it's changing their play calling, and his idea of what he wanted to do to start the second half.
Dicken drops back, gets rid of it, broken up, intercepted by Craig McPartland. McPartland brings it back to the 13. He tipped it and hauled it in. Greg McPartland, a 6'3" senior, takes it away from Bloomington.
And McPartland just dropped right straight back into that zone, looking for the ball coming over the middle. And Billy Dicken was looking for somebody to the outside, and he gets a lot of pressure, and he throws the ball right in the middle. And Billy Dicken is looking to his left. Then he sees a man coming across, and there's McPartland reaching up with one hand, and then knocks it up in the air and makes the interception.
Second takeaway for the Celtics defense on the year. Providence plus 20 in takeaway giveaways. They took it away defensively 20 more times. The offense gave it away. 1st and 10 at the 17. Brissoir with the I formation. Gives to Schley. And he doesn't get much going through the left side.
He's brought down by John Blumenshine, one of the inside linebackers.
Aided by Matt Steinling. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Celtics defense getting the turnover, protecting a 3-0 lead.
You're seeing some old defense. You saw a double eagle there on 1st down by Bloomington, which was very effective. Now there's some movement on the defensive line for Bloomington.
2nd and 10. And that play thrown for a loss as driving through Mark Irby, big number 52. We dropped the play for a loss back to the 14-yard line, a 3-yard loss on the play.
Well, there was a blitz, and we'll get a chance to see the blitz right here. There's the blitz.
Cariotis.
Well, next Emily, the linebacker, made the blitz, but the young man that made that play was James Martin. He stood everybody up.
On 3rd and long. Orr's pass incomplete through the hands of Greg Keir at the 25-yard line, bringing up 4th down. So now Tom Manzella will be called upon to try to drive one again into this win with 6:01 left to go, third quarter.
He had success last time because he hit a line drive. Now he's a little deeper, and let's just see how he handles that punt, because you've got to kick a line drive. But when you do that, you have the possibility of having it blocked.
And now the referee stopped the clock. The deep man back, Marcus Moseley for Bloomington. And you see right there, referee's timeout, 6:01 to go, 3-0 in favor of Providence. Last time out, Manzella punted 26 yards. Someone might say that's not very much. 26 yards into this win is not bad. When you get it up high, you can almost wind up with negative.
That's right. That's right. And that's why it was key. And this is a key punt for Providence to see if he can drive the ball on a line without getting it blocked.
Manzella stands at the 1. Moseley is only at the 39-yard line. And again, a knuckleballing, bouncing ball, and Moseley wisely gets away. Good coverage by Providence as it's down at the 49-yard line in Bloomington territory.
Now, Manzella did a nice job.
5 minutes, 50 seconds to go, third quarter, 3-0 in favor of Providence. Back at Hancock Stadium, 3-0. Bloomington trails the Purple Raiders with the ball, with good field position to start the drive, their own 49-yard line. Dicken with a spread formation and the single setback. That's Jermaine Ware. Off the play action, wide open Marcus Moseley. And he is to the 35-yard line. 16 yards on the reception. John Fitzgibbon, the linebacker, makes the tackle.
Just a single back offense, and that's not a fancy pattern. He's just looking for Marcus Moseley wherever he's open, and Billy Dicken gets the ball to him quickly and throws the ball with a lot of mustard on it. He's got good strength and a quick release.
First down. Fullback gets the call. Jason Scott rambles to the 25-yard line. Gain of about 9 on the play.
And that was one of the few times this evening that you saw the fullback get the ball and be able to run. And yet it's still not a very good relationship. It still looked like Jason Scott was pulling the ball away from Billy Dicken on the option.
Second down and 2. Ball's at the 27-yard line in Providence territory. We're under 5 minutes for the third quarter. On the option, give to the football to the fullback, Jason Scott. Craig McPartland with the tackle. Let's head down to our sideline companion, Joe Passion.
Well, if you think there's a lot of interest toward this game right here in the Bloomington-Normal area, or much less in the Will County area, I am told from Bloomington fans that the Randall and Kylie families of Dallas, Texas are having a big party watching this game on Sports Channel via satellite. And I'm also told by some Providence fans that there's a whole family of people having a big party to watch this game in Norfolk, Arkansas. So they're watching this one with great interest all over the country on Sports Channel. Let's go back here to this one.
Say some chips and dip for me. Dicken overthrowing the fullback, Jason Scott. Greg Keir covering defensively on the play. That stops the clock with 4:24 to go. And it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
And every time you see Billy Dicken having to go back to throw, it breaks the rhythm. And there's some numbers on Billy Dicken. Obviously having some success throwing the ball, but it looks more like a grab bag type of offense. You're trying anything. Does this work? Does this work? And it gets you out of the momentum of what you like to do.
Second down. Dicken the option. But that one was disrupted from the start. Great defensive penetration with Tom Manzella mopping up on the play to bring him down at the 25-yard line. A loss of a yard. It'll be 3rd down.
The key thing when you have an offensive football team is the rhythm. And obviously Providence has disrupted that rhythm. Get a chance, Billy Dicken, right now it's just a sprint option, and he gets caught by Manzella by his leg, and he cannot pitch the ball.
Nose tackle Doug Reiser is what really, his penetration quickly off the snap.
Well, that's where it all has to start. If you have to deepen up the quarterback, the relationship on the pitch is not good, and that just ruins the option.
Bloomington has failed to convert only 1 third down. It's 3rd and long. Dicken in trouble, and he is spun down by Craig McPartland, who sacks him all the way back at the 37-yard line, a loss of 12.
Our end zone angle right here shows Craig McPartland. He's just firing. He's blitzing right from his linebacker spot, and he's got a direct line, direct bead to Billy Dicken.
McPartland, the Celtics' second leading tackler, really lives for contact. Missed 4 games this season with a severe groin pull.
And there's a picture of a worried coach, Terry McCombs.
This is going to be a 52-yard field goal try for Billy Dicken, whose longest this year was 43.
But coach says he can kick him 57.
And maybe with the wind, which of course it is, as you see, he might be able to do it. This is one of those, you just get the ball up and let the wind do its thing. Here's the kick. Look at the wind helping. It's sidewinding. It's good! Oh, my goodness! 52 yards by Billy Dicken. That goes with a 70-yard punt that he nailed at the last play of the first half. Can he do it all? All right, we're going to look at that one again, but first of all, we're going to take a timeout. We're tied at 3 late in the third quarter. Where's this win when I'm playing golf? Kept hooking, Bill. And the question is, would it hook outside? Dicken's second IHSA kicking record of the game, 52 yards on the field goal.
We get a chance to see him really drive the ball. The question was not would it be long enough, but whether it would stay inside the 2 goalposts. And there you see the ball coming back down, and he had plenty of room, and it stayed inside.
Wow.
What a drive on that leg.
Dicken with the kick. Taken at the 12. Frank Flugrat on the return. And the pile of bodies all the way up to the 30-yard line where the Celtics will start the drive. A brand new ball game. Longest field goal in 4A title game history, 52 yards.
Well, it's, as you said, Tom, it's a brand new football game. Bloomington now, they've got to revive themselves and be able to take away the drive that Providence would like to have right here offensively. And then be able to get on track offensively where they can get back into a rhythm offensively and not have to be forced to throw the football.
1st and 10. Flugrat corralled and thrown for a loss on the play. Getting through there. Looked like, yes, it was linebacker Lance Hilliard. A few times we've called his name tonight.
And Bloomington is now starting to blitz. And you've got Matt Stemling coming in on long yardage situations, and he's going to blitz, and they're going to try and move their people a little bit differently defensively to try and disrupt those long drives that Providence had earlier in the first half.
It's 2nd and 10. Off the quick drop, the quick out, and the completion, and hit immediately at the 31-yard line. Brett Everett, a 5'7" junior, driven out of bounds by the strong safety, Steve Young.
Steve Young, and they were playing man-to-man in the secondary for Bloomington. Any place the motion man went, Steve Young was willing to go right with him. And then, of course, that was who they wanted to throw to, and Chris Orr threw it out. Steve Young was right there to make the play.
Chris Orr passed for 236 yards in the quarterfinal game against Woodstock, throwing for 2 touchdowns, including 16 of 25. Here it's 3rd and 7 at the Celtic 32. Right over the middle, thrown behind Everett. Incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And once again, Bloomington went man-to-man, and then they blitzed their linebacker. Put a little pressure on Chris Orr when he was throwing the football. That was a big series of downs for Bloomington's defense.
54 seconds left to go here in the 3rd quarter. It's a tie game at 3.
And we were going to mention something earlier. Tom Manzella, when he kicks the ball, to kick it on a line drive, he's going to step to the right to get away from the rush to be able to take and kick a line drive. Let's see if he does it again, Tom.
Marcus Mosley, the single safety back, and referees stop it. There was still time on the play clock.
Ball start, offense.
And Manzella will have to move 5 yards farther back. Well, when you're kicking against the wind like that.
It's amazing how the momentum changed just on one kick. Here you had Bloomington, who looked like they were falling apart at the seams offensively and defensively, yet they're still in the football game. They get a 52-yard field goal, and they're rejuvenated.
Now Mosley, the safety for Bloomington, stands at his own 48-yard line. At his 18. Good kick against the wind, and all Mosley can do is say, holy mackerel, that thing's safe. It rolls inside the 30, and it's down at the 28-yard line. That's was by far his best punt against the wind.
And he didn't have any pressure, but yet he still stepped to the right, and then he drove the ball up in the air as well, and he had a lot of leg into it, and you could see that the ball sailed. It was a knuckleball, but it sailed over.
44 yards against the wind.
That's a great kick.
43 seconds left for the 3rd period. Bloomington tying the game on that 4A title game record field goal.
Well, the question here, Tom, is can Bloomington get their offense on track and get into some kind of a rhythm?
Dicken throwing it long, almost intercepted. Jeff Schley nearly had a sliding catch at the 45-yard line.
And that was intended for Jason Scott coming out of the backfield.
Get a feeling perhaps that Dicken might say, this is my last series with the wind at my back. Let's go ahead and air it out a couple of times.
Well, that's right. That may be the thought, but you still would like to have a little bit better rhythm with your offense and try and establish your running game with the option.
You'd figure his passing would have loosened up the running game a little bit.
Hasn't really been true.
Not really. On second down, Dicken avoids the rush, rolling out of the pocket. And it's broken up, almost intercepted at the 45-yard line. Almost picked off by Craig McPartland, who already has one interception tonight.
Well, that's when Billy Dicken is really, he's a real threat. He's flushed out of the pocket here, comes to the outside, and this is where he really is a problem for Providence, because he's running wild and you can't cover people for a half an hour, and yet Providence goes to the ball very well, extremely well when the ball's in the air.
12 seconds left for the third period. It's 3rd and 10 as Terry McComb is ball club in the title game for the first time here in their own backyard.
I'm really impressed with the defensive play of Providence. They really break on the ball.
They're going to put it up again, going long for Moseley, intercepted by Keir at the 50. Keir spins away, runs along the 40. Still on his feet to the 30. Down to the 27-yard line. A heck of a run back as Greg Keir picks off his second pass of the night, and he sets up Providence in Bloomington territory as we go to the fourth quarter. It's a tie game at 3. An exciting battle for the 4A state championship. One quarter left for the 4A championship. Coming up after this, right here on Sports Channel, the Bulls against Portland, and 2 games coming your way tomorrow here on Sports Channel. The 5A and 6A title games, Wheaton Central against Mount Carmel at noon, followed by Glenbard North and East St. Louis Senior. From the 28, first down, Orr throws, dumps it out short to Madsen. Madsen to the 18, maybe the 17-yard line. Strong safety Steve Young had to bring him down.
You know, this is kind of an ironic football game. You've got 2 teams that have averaged 40 and 35 yards respectively. And here we get to see Chris Orr makes a little fake, looking for Madsen coming across the middle. Madsen really his favorite receiver all evening. Makes a nice reception. But as I was saying, you've got 2 offensive football teams scoring 40 and 35 points a game, and here it is a 3-3 football game. Now you'd think this was a boring game, but between the 20s, they've been running up and down like crazy.
They're just shy of the first down. You can see just a couple of links on the chain is what they need. Providence, as balanced as a high school team can get, really, you rarely see a team totally balanced at high school. They're averaging about 184 yards rushing and about 150 yards passing.
And as Coach Sefner said, this is the most explosive offensive football team he's had. And he won a state championship in 1987.
But again, his defense has set the table here.
Yes, and that is what they've done all season long.
2nd and inches, or off the play action. He'll run for the first down. Fumble the ball. It's recovered at the 18-yard line, and falling on it was center Todd Odell.
Johnny on the spot. He was right there to make that fumble recovery.
He had the first down, but may have lost it when he coughed up the football. Providence had fumbled it away only 7 times all year in 13 ball games. It'll be 3rd down. With a minute gone in the fourth quarter. It's a 3-3 ball game. It's 3rd and 1 from the 19.
This could be do or die.
Bluegrad hammers through the left side and has the first down to the 17-yard line. Hit hard by linebacker Lance Hilliard, their 2nd leading tackler.
I can't help but feel that this is a big series right here for Providence.
They not only had to unpile the bodies, they had to unravel them.
That's right.
I mean, they had some knots tied up down there. There was so much hitting, and they're going to have to bring the chains. to see whether or not they have the first down. Looks like they do. It'll be a 4th down if they don't get the first down. Frank Bluegrass won't outrun anybody. Doesn't have the greatest of speed, but loves to run physical. And it's a first down for the Celtics.
He's a great straight-ahead football player. He likes to hit in. He's quick, gets off his mark, and that's all it takes when you're a high school back is be able to hit up in quick and get every inch of yard you can.
Orr goes wide to the right. Everett wide to the left. Orr throwing, has a man open, caught, down, Justin Orr.
Justin Orr, flanker, and he just ran a little pattern. Actually, I thought he was going to maybe drop the ball because he was running backwards, Tom, when he caught the ball, but he hung on, kept his feet, made a tremendous catch.
So the brother combination clicks. Justin Orr with his 8th touchdown reception of the year. The younger brother of the quarterback, Chris Orr. And that's the game's first touchdown with 10:29 left in the 4th quarter.
Now the argument is between the brothers is, did I make a great throw or did you make a great catch?
Well, now Tony Sambo, who is 34 of 40 on the year, and extra points, will kick out of the hold of Alan Lacomsis. It's blocked. And that could be a big turning point. Looked like Carlos Prophet, the big guy in the middle, number 6, came through to make the block.
It was Carlos Prophet. You get a chance to see him right now. He makes a penetration. He comes in, puts his hands up, and gets it right in the tummy. Excellent play. And obviously, at this point, it's 9-3. You get a touchdown, you're back in the football game.
Of course, that's set up by the 25-yard interception returned by Keir to the 28-yard line.
Here's the touchdown from Orr to Orr. And there's what I was talking about. Orr was running backwards. Looked like he might lose his balance. There's a good angle right there. Makes a catch. Justin Orr.
Justin comes back and says, I made you look good again.
They'll be talking about that one for a long time.
Well, but this game is far from over. 10:29 left. A 6-point lead for the Celtics as Manzella kicks it. And it bounces by Ware through the end zone, and Bloomington will put it in play at the 20.
Well, obviously, Bloomington will again have to establish what they want to do offensively. They start at the 20, and you certainly don't want to see them throwing the ball just because they feel they have to catch up.
4 plays, 28 yards. Scoring drive to goal of 1:31.
That's the shortest drive of the day.
Bloomington marching against the wind. Quarterback Billy Dicken. Under center Brad Hunt. An offensive line that they toyed with all season long and didn't really solidify the starters until the 9th game of the season. The toss to Ware. And he is up to back to the line of scrimmage. Tom Manzella tackled him. Quite a story, Billy Dicken. And his number 1 receiver, Marcus Mosley. As close as they are. Of course, Jermaine Ware was looking to get 104 yards tonight. He won't get it to break the single-season rushing record at Bloomington High School set by his older brother, Dwayne. 2nd and 10.
Not unless he has a couple of 50-yard runs here.
Give to the fullback. Jason Scott doesn't find much. Craig McPortland filled up the gaps quickly to stop him after a gain of only a yard.
And that's where you want to start your option. You start to give it to on the little belly, the little drive to the fullback. Then you come back where you have the quarterback keep or the quarterback pitch option. Let's see if they come back with that and have a little sequence of plays here.
It's 3rd and 8, and what will Terry McCombs pull out of the bag of tricks at his own 22-yard line? Dicken wants to put it up. Jets gets it away, and a great catch by Marcus Mosley for an apparent first down at the 31-yard line. There's the combination they call ice cream and cake.
Well, he just made a little turn inside, and Billy Dicken was looking for him all the way. He was looking for Marcus Moseley coming over the middle, threw it low, and didn't keep it high, so you don't get that interception.
Those two all summer long every day would work on 100 pass routes a day.
Well, I'm sure they worked on that one a number of times.
1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Full house power backfield. Ball on the snap. And they'll have to dig through the bodies to find out who has possession. It'll be Bloomington's ball, 2nd down. 8.5 minutes left. Bloomington trailing by 6.
You know, it seems every time Bloomington seems to get some continuity in their offense, something happens. They either get a penalty, they get a fumble, or an interception, and it changes their play calling sequence, which has really disrupted what they like to do offensively.
They'll chalk off a 1-yard loss, 2nd and 11. Moseley, the lone wideout, a wide to the left. Double tight end, I formation backfield. 2nd to throw. Flushed out of the pocket and is dropped back at the 20. A great sack. A great sack by the Celtics. Number 77, Justin Bartz.
And he came from behind to be able to make that tackle. Justin Bartz. Billy Dicken is flushed right there. Justin Bartz coming out, and he just grabs the outside ankle and just pulls down, and Billy Dicken comes down.
Bartz 6'3", 199, showed some good quickness, hauling him down and catching him.
He was on a blitz. Now he's on a down. He's in a down position.
Dicken has been sacked 4 times. It is 3rd and 21 from the 21. He dumps it short to Moseley. Sidesteps Bartz. Runs it out to the 32-yard line before Tom Manzello makes the tackle.
And Billy Dicken is not getting up very easily. The pressure was pretty good. He threw a little, it looked like he wanted to throw a little bit of a screen. There's a picture of Billy Dicken limping a little bit, but certainly not any worse for wear right now.
Look at his eyes a little bit earlier. You kind of saw like Bowen suddenly having a rough evening. He had a lot of good protection, was able to avoid the pressure in the first half, not so in the second half.
Well, every time they flush him out, he has a problem. Now he's
high snap, and he gets it away. It takes a Celtic bounce, fielded by an up man who is hit immediately, and we will take a break with 6:21 left to go in the 4th quarter. It's a tight contest. Providence leads 9-3. And for the second time tonight, a driving rain comes down here, a driving drizzle really more precisely here at Hancock Stadium. Providence with a 9-3 lead. You see the time remaining here in the 4th quarter. 1st and 10 Celtics at their own 47. Bluegrass trying to get outside. Nice job cutting behind the blocking right tackle Mark Irby to make the stop.
I would believe that this possession will be the key in the whole football game. If they can get a patented drive here, even if they don't score, if they can eat up the clock, there's no question but what you're going to disrupt the type of offense that Bloomington had tried to get going previously. So this is a key one right here.
2nd and 9. Bluegrass will try the other side. Nice cutback. He gets it into Bloomington territory to the 48. He picked up 4 yards to bring up 3rd down.
Well, he averages 5.4 every time he carries the ball, and if they can continue to do this, they'll move right down the field. Bloomington looking a little weary on defense. Looks like they're really not getting up into the ball. They're not getting off the ball real fast, and Providence still has that jump on the ball, and really look at just the way you see them bounce as they come out of the huddle.
3rd and 5. This is Schley. Gets outside. Has the first down to the 30. Out of bounds inside the 25-yard line, close to the 20. A big gain on the play of about 25-plus yards for Schley.
We'll get an opportunity to see Schley. He's running out of the tailback spot. The guard pulls, and Schley just takes it to the outside. You get another good block from the split or flanker, and Schley just takes it back on outside, picks up some good yardage, and that's the key. That's absolutely the key, because now they're really into four-down territory. They've either got a field goal possibility, or of course you can go and score a touchdown.
Schley's run of 22 yards has it 1st and 10 at the 26. Bluegrass finds it going tough as he tries the right side. Stop at the 25. Dave Griffin, the first of several Purple Raider defenders to meet him. 4:44 left to go, and the clock is running. It is the enemy of the Purple Raiders, and never much the ally of the Celtics. 9-3 the score. And as Matt Sempner looks up at the scoreboard, he says, "Run, clock, run."
And he just had a conversation with Chris Orr, too. Interesting to see what this play might be, Tom.
2nd and 9. Or to throw through the hands of the tight end Matson at the 20-yard line, and darn near intercepted. A couple of defenders nearby, like Chip Mosley.
And it was just a little play action. There he is rolling out. Now, Orr doesn't really get a lot of depth, and he's looking for Matson coming across, which they've had a lot of success with all evening. A little play action, fake one way, come back the other, little bootleg action, looking for the tight end coming underneath.
A little surprised they threw the football at this stage, stopping the clock.
Particularly when they've been having such good success running the football.
And you see it's 3rd and long. Schley flattened over on the far side by Lance Hilliard. He laid a lick.
Lance Hilliard really came up and make a tremendous play, but I think he felt a little bit too.
It'll be 4th down.
We'll get a good opportunity to see. Schley goes to the outside. You see Lance Hilliard come up, and he put it. Oh, wow, what a great. That was a classic hit. Classic. But I think he is Schley.
I think I felt that one up here. 4th and 7. Lance Hilliard. Over 100 stops on here. 120 coming into this ball game, including assists. 3.5 minutes to go. 4th down and 7 for the Celtics, and they're going to talk it over. We're going to take a break. It's getting down to the last few moments in the battle for the 4A title game. Providence protecting a 6-point lead. Yes. You gonna come out to that? Okay. 8 records set in that 3A game. Already we have proud Stockton, the 1A champ, Fulton, the 2A champ, and Crystal, the 3A champ. That in a game which found 8 records set for the 3A title game. And we're going to determine the 4A champion here with 3:26 left in regulation. 4th and 7 for Providence. They lead by 6. Chris Orr to put it up. Throwing deep, deflected, incomplete. And Bloomington will have it for one last gasp and a decent amount of time on the clock.
And the key here for is the type of patterns that Billy Dicken will attempt. Obviously, he's going to have to throw the ball. My own feeling would be at this point, I would try and run the ball a little bit early and then try and go with a little play action and let Billy Dicken get to the outside and scramble a little bit. That's where he's had the most success this evening, when he's been flushed out of the pocket. But he ought to sprint out and get to the outside and attack it and either pass or run.
Penalty marker to thrown as that play got a false start to it. And also thinking back with Providence going on 4th down, Bill, obviously it'll cost Bloomington 5, and there's another one of those little mistakes.
Well, what's happening is Providence is changing. We'll get an opportunity to see. There's the movement. The offensive linemen are anticipating, and that was Ryan Shaw that moved. But what's happening is that Providence is changing their defensive fronts, and it appears to be causing the offensive linemen a little concern as to how they're blocking it.
Now they'll start from the 18-yard line, and it's 1st and 15. Dicken is going to have to hold on to the football and take a sack all the way back to the 2-yard line. Justin Bart's back there with his second second big sack of the game as well, along with a couple of other teammates.
Well, and here you get the opportunity to see Billy Dicken with a little bootleg action. That's exactly what he needs to do. He needs to get out and attack the end, but there's too much pressure. Too much pressure from the inside, pressure from the outside. Not really have an opportunity. Get another opportunity from a different angle. Billy Dicken needs to get a little deeper, but there's the pressure from the outside, and there's no way that he can throw the football when he's got people draped all over him.
It is 2nd and 30. Back from the 3. Dicken just lobs it out. Caught. Ooh, what a hit. Greg Keir applied the lick. The reception made by, I believe, Brian Engle.
It was number 86, the tight end. He just throws this ball up in the air. He doesn't really put any real zip onto it. It's just a time pattern. Brian Engle gets hammered. I mean, he is hammered.
Whiplash. Wow.
Greg Keir, outstanding, has 2 interceptions, makes a great run back, and makes a tremendous hit.
Well, penalty marker down apparently, I believe, on the play. And you could hear over the...
Ineligible downfield on the offense is declined. 3rd and 10.
Isn't that ineligible usually a loss of down?
It should be.
Surprised that they declined the penalty.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Why would you do that?
Appeared to be some serious confusion on the Providence side.
Why would you do that? It is a loss of down.
You heard the referee say, you got to make the decision. You're the captain. You got to do it. There just seemed to be total confusion.
Well, he needs to look to the sideline and just see the coach, yes or no. That's all it takes.
Ball's at the 23, where it's 3rd down and 10. 2:20 left to go, and the clock is running. Bloomington down by 6. Short drop for Dicken. Loops it out. Broken up. Thrown behind the intended receiver. Fitzgibbon covered, but it was in the direction of fullback Jason Scott.
And once again, Billy Dicken does not seem to get deep enough to give himself the opportunity to get away from the rush and be able to throw the ball. When you're getting a rush like that, that's the time you come up with draws and screens. We haven't seen very much of that from Bloomington.
It stopped the clock with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left. It is 4th down and 10 for Bloomington, and there's no doubt there is no tomorrow. You go for it. You're down by 6 with time running out here in the 4A title game. The toss to Ware, who had only 12 yards in the game before that carry, and he has stopped way short of the 1st down yardage. Tom Manzella on the tackle. Here you see McPartland and Lackney coming off arm in arm. It'll be 1st down Providence with 2:07 left.
Well, there's a little bit of a celebration here, but as you pointed out, 2:07 is still a lot of time, and if Providence doesn't cover up the ball,
on the tackle. Here you see McPartland and Lackney coming off arm in arm. It'll be 1st down Providence with 2:07 left.
Well, there's a little bit of a celebration here, but as you pointed out, 2:07 is still a lot of time, and if Providence doesn't cover up the ball, Bloomington could still have some opportunities here. The game is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
Bloomington had the ball for only 1:19, and now you see the clock is running. Bloomington has all 3 of its timeouts remaining. With maybe to no avail. Fumble on the snap.
There it is, and it just takes a little problem like that, and you still see the step up that Providence has. They're coming up out of the, and they're looking like they have that spring yet, but then there's a snap and it's a fumble, and that's all it would take. How many times have you seen a game where it's lost just on the quarterback-center exchange?
Bloomington took one of its 3 remaining timeouts, stopping the clock with 1:38 left. Nine to 3 the score. Providence leading in this 4A championship battle. We want to take a moment to acknowledge some of the folks responsible for today's coverage. Our producer-director, Tim Sutton, with the coordinating producer, Greg Bowman, and the executive producer, John Toohey. Great day of football coverage brought to you live exclusively on Sports Channel, with more coming your way tomorrow. It all starts at 12 noon with the battle for the 5A title, Wheaton Central, where Red Grange played back in the 20s and who still owns several IHSA records, will take on a great Mount Carmel team. 1:38 left. Or to Flugrat, dropped immediately by Lance Hilliard. And Bloomington will stop the clock again with 1:32 left. And Bloomington will have just 1 timeout left after this break. As Providence comes over, they're going to be very, very conservative.
Well, I would think so, and obviously not only conservative, but don't even get fancy. Just hold on to the ball with 2 hands, tug it in, and take a less, take 1 less yard, but just hold on to the football. And of course, the biggest thing, and right now I'm sure Coach is saying, whatever you do, Chris, get the ball from the center.
Well, Bloomington wanted to take it 1 step further after losing in the semis, 15-12 to Mount Carmel last year. They got to the title game, but still looks like they're going to come just shy. The Purple Raiders in the playoff for the 7th time. Hadn't gotten past the quarterfinals until this year. Meanwhile, Providence, of course, they won the state title in '87, beating Roxana 14-7. Did not appear in the playoffs last year for the first time since '82. Only 2 years in the decade of the '80s with the Celtics not in the playoffs.
Well, that certainly shows you the success that Coach Sefner's had in his 24 years.
3rd and 11 with 1:32 to go. The ball is back at the 27-yard line of Bloomington. Flugrat hit hard as wrapped up by Chip Moseley.
And Carlos Prophet came in for the middle guard to make a tremendous play. They're certainly looking to strip the ball a little bit, too. They're using that shot block that we saw so well against the Bears on Thanksgiving Day.
Bloomington taking its final remaining timeout. Don't forget, following this on Sports Channel, we've got Bulls action. The Bulls against Portland, immediately following our telecast of the 4A title game. The Celtics fans down below us beginning to celebrate as they're trying to cap off an undefeated season at 14-0. And they say, okay, we didn't get a lot of respect during the regular season. What about now?
Well, they certainly deserve the respect. They're a good football team, even though they play an independent schedule. And sometimes it's difficult when you play an independent schedule. You can't, a lot of people don't want to play it, first of all, because you're a good football team. So you've got to go all over any place you can to get an opponent.
Meanwhile, they played 3 Indiana teams, and even though they're just across the state line, you just don't know what they're about.
And how good they are, and you don't get the credit that you deserve.
4th down and 11, 1:26 remaining. But Bloomington has no more timeouts remaining. Cut back by Flugrat to the 20, to the 19-yard line. Not enough for the first down. Bloomington will take it over on downs, but with only 1:20 left.
And now you're going to see whether Providence really wants to blitz or whether they're going to stay back and play a prevent. At this point in time, I think you would see probably a 3-deep prevent and back the linebackers off. That's exactly what Providence is doing. They're just going to play pass.
Dicken rolling out, throwing deep into a crowd, intercepted at the 50-yard line. The Celtics get it back on the interception. Jeff Young, the free safety. That should seal the victory for the Celtics. 1:05 remaining, and again, Bloomington can't stop the clock. And interceptions, turnovers, the big story for Bloomington.
And mistakes and inability to have some kind of a sequence so far as your offense is concerned. And I'm sure that really disrupted Bloomington because they had a lot of success offensively all season long and never really seemed to get into a rhythm offensively in this championship game.
That is 4 interceptions thrown by Dicken tonight, and coming into the game this evening, he had thrown only 8 in 122 attempts. But strange things happen when you're playing for the state title.
He also didn't kick a 52-yard field goal in any other game either. So.
Yeah. But that will be just a little consolation because the state title is what they want. Delay a game penalty as the Celtics used every bit of the 25-second play clock. The clock now stopped with 38 seconds remaining, and the play clock winds down. 9-3. A low-scoring battle between 2 good defensive teams. Going down to one knee was Chris Orr. 33 seconds left. And let's see, they start the play clock. It's under 25 seconds. Now they start it. They don't have to put the ball in play. They don't have to snap it again.
It's all over now.
The Celtics will be crowned the 4A champions in a hard-fought 9-3 battle with the gutsy Bloomington Purple Raiders football team. And members of Bloomington's team stand and applaud the victorious Celtics. It's all over. 9-3 the final. As the Celtics of Providence Catholic of New Lenox take home their 2nd state championship trophy.
This is certainly not the game that you would expect with 2 teams with the explosive offenses that they showed all season long. But this was a good football game. It wasn't... it had a lot of offense to it. It just didn't have a lot of scoring. And from the 20 to 20, you saw a lot of different kinds of things offensively. And I certainly was not disappointed to see this kind of a football game.
Well, when you have 2 teams averaging 39 points a game, 32 points a game, but giving up so few, something had to give. And tonight, it was the offense that had to give. The defense prevailed.
Well, they've been scoring a lot, but they also both had very good defensive teams, and the defensive teams really took this game over.
Okay, so that'll do it. As Providence Catholic wins the 4A title, defeating Bloomington 9-3. For Bill Gorley, I'm Tom Stocker. Let's send it back now to our Sports Channel studios and Steve Cashel. Good job, everybody. Good pictures.
Yeah.
Good job, Timmy.